Have you ever caught your reflection in a passing window, just a glimpse, and felt a sudden, strange disconnect? You feel like you inside. You feel in your mind, in your spirit, essentially the same as you did at 30, maybe a little wiser, maybe a little more tired, but fundamentally you. And then the mirror, or that window, or a photograph from a family gathering shows you someone else, someone older. The lines around the eyes seem deeper than they did yesterday. The skin doesn't have that snap it used to. And there's a certain weariness in the expression that your internal self just doesn't cosign. It's a profound, almost jarring cognitive dissonance, isn't it? This gap between our vibrant inner world and the physical evidence of time marching across our bodies. We've been told this is just aging, that it's inevitable, that we should just accept the aches, the low energy, the brain fog, the fading vitality as a normal part of the deal. But what if it's not? What if a significant portion of what we call aging is actually something else entirely? What if it's a process, a specific, measurable, and most importantly, influenceable process that we are unintentionally accelerating? And what if the accelerator pedal for this process is something so common, so simple, and so deeply embedded in our daily lives that we ignore it precisely because it's hiding in plain sight? We're here today to talk about that accelerator. We're here to talk about high blood sugar. And the simple, profound truth is that managing it is perhaps the single most powerful lever we have to pull to slow down that reflection in the mirror and, perhaps for the first time in a long time, feel our bodies finally catch up to our youthful spirits. It's a discovery that feels like a breakthrough, and I'm so glad you're here to explore it with me. Because understanding this changes everything. The core of this process, the villain we've been ignoring, has a scientific name: glycation. Now, that sounds complex, but I want you to think about it with a very simple metaphor. Think about toasting a piece of bread or searing a steak. That browning, that delicious crust, that's the Maillard reaction. It's what happens when sugars and proteins are heated and bind together. They form new, stiff, and brittle structures. Now imagine that same process happening inside your body, but in slow motion, at body temperature, over decades. That, in essence, is glycation. When you have excess sugar floating in your bloodstream, more than your cells can use for immediate energy, that sticky sugar, glucose, randomly latches onto the proteins and fats that make up your body. It's a chaotic, unregulated process. The sugar sticks, and it doesn't let go. It gums up the works. These new, damaged sugar-protein structures are called advanced glycation end-products, or AGEs for short. And isn't that just the most hauntingly perfect acronym? These AGEs are precisely what fast-forwards that reflection in the mirror. Let's trace the damage. Think about your skin. What gives it that youthful bounce, that suppleness? Two key proteins: collagen and elastin. They are your skin's scaffolding. When sticky glucose molecules find these proteins, they bind to them, cross-linking them. The once flexible, bouncy collagen fibers become stiff, brittle, and disorganized. This, my friends, is a wrinkle. This is sagging skin. It's the caramelization of your own connective tissue. All the expensive anti-aging creams in the world are trying to fight this battle from the outside, applying serums to the surface of the problem, while the problem itself is being manufactured from the inside every time our blood sugar spikes. And this is just the part we can see. What about the parts we can't see? What about your blood vessels? The arteries that carry life-giving oxygen to every single cell in your body are supposed to be flexible, elastic tubes that can widen and narrow to manage your blood pressure. They too are made of proteins like collagen and elastin. When AGEs form there, they stiffen the arteries. It's like turning a flexible garden hose into a rusty, rigid iron pipe. The heart has to pump harder to force blood through these stiffened tubes. This is the very root of hypertension or high blood pressure for so many people. The AGEs damage the delicate inner lining, the endothelium, creating rough patches where plaque can build up. This is the road to heart disease and stroke. It's not just time, it's glycation. And it gets deeper. Let's talk about the brain. Your brain is an incredibly dense, complex network of proteins, fats, and neurons. It is exquisitely sensitive to its fuel supply.
When blood sugar is chronically high, this glycation process runs rampant in the brain. It's been shown to damage brain proteins, including those involved in the transport of amyloid beta, the protein that forms the infamous plaques in Alzheimer's disease. The brain fog, the senior moments, the difficulty grasping for a word, while complex, these are all intimately linked to energy dysregulation and the inflammatory, damaging storm that high blood sugar and glycation create. It even happens in the lenses of your eyes. The proteins in the eye lens are crystalline proteins designed to last your entire life. But when sugar sticks to them, they become cloudy, opaque, and stiff. We call this a cataract. Again, something we dismiss as just getting old, but which is in fact a direct, measurable result of this caramelization process. So you see, this thing we call aging is, in so many ways, a disease of glycation. It's the slow, steady, and cumulative damage from decades of sugar-protein collisions, and the rate at which this happens is dictated almost entirely by how much sugar is in your blood and for how long. This is the central mechanism, and the reason seniors, and frankly all of us, ignore it is because it is invisible and it is silent. You don't feel a blood sugar spike. You eat a bagel and orange juice for breakfast, your blood sugar rockets up, a storm of glycation occurs for 2 hours, and then your body, hopefully, releases a flood of insulin to crash it back down, making you tired and hungry by 10:30 a.m. You don't feel the glycation. You just feel the crash, and you blame it on needing more coffee or a bad night's sleep. You don't connect that meal to the wrinkle that forms a decade later. The cause and effect are separated by years. But the science is now so unequivocally clear that controlling this internal environment, managing this glucose level, is the key.
The scientific community has been racing to find ways to support the body's natural response to this glucose load, to help our systems manage it better before it can cause this cascading damage. It's a hunt for a new kind of support. And recently, a very specific formulation of micronutrients and botanical extracts has shown incredible promise in clinical research. It's designed to work with your body's own insulin and glucose disposal systems, supporting the cellular doorways that pull sugar out of the blood and into the muscles where it belongs. It's truly fascinating, revolutionary science that targets this very mechanism. I've put a link to the research on this specific supplement in the first pinned comment right below this video. It's not a magic pill, but it's a powerful new tool based on this exact science we're discussing. It's a quick read, just click that pinned comment and see for yourself. But as I said, that's one piece of the puzzle. The most profound changes, the simple things we ignore, are the ones we can do today for free, starting with our very next meal. And this is where the sense of discovery truly begins. This is where you take your power back. The first simple thing is to stop thinking about sugar as just the white stuff in the bowl. Our bodies, on a chemical level, don't differentiate much between a spoonful of sugar and a piece of white bread, or a bowl of pasta, or a baked potato. These are complex carbohydrates in name, but they are, in reality, just very, very long chains of sugar molecules. Your digestive system is incredibly efficient at breaking them down, and to your bloodstream, it's all just a massive, sudden delivery of glucose. This is the great modern deception. We've been told to eat low-fat for decades, so we dutifully ate our low-fat yogurts, loaded with sugar to make them palatable, our breakfast cereals, pure processed carbs, and our plates of pasta, more processed carbs. We cut the fat, which is satiating and has zero impact on blood sugar, and replaced it with sugar and refined carbs. And in doing so, we've been running this glycation accelerator at full throttle for 40 years. If this is all starting to make sense, if you're feeling that aha moment, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It's a simple click, but it tells the YouTube algorithm that this is a conversation that matters, and it helps get this video out to more people who might be stuck in that same aging trap. So the first step is awareness. Identify the hidden sugars in your diet, the breads, the pastas, the rice, the cereals, the healthy juices. But the second step, the simple trick, is a complete game changer, and it costs nothing. It's called food sequencing. The order in which you eat your food. This is so simple.
and yet so profound, it's almost unbelievable it's not common knowledge. Studies have shown, repeatedly, that if you eat the exact same meal in a different order, you can slash the post-meal glucose spike by up to 73% and the subsequent insulin spike by nearly 50%. Let me say that again. Same meal, different result. So what's the magic order? It's this: fiber first, protein and fat second, starches and sugars last. Think about it. Start your meal with a salad or some non-starchy vegetables like broccoli, green beans, or bell peppers. This fiber hits your digestive system first. It creates a kind of mesh or filter in your gut. It also signals your body to release a hormone called GLP-1, which, among other things, slows down gastric emptying. This fiber-rich filter now slows down the absorption of whatever comes next. So then you eat your protein and fats, your chicken, your fish, your avocado, your olive oil. These are satiating and further slow digestion. And finally, at the end of the meal, you eat the starches and sugars, the bread, the rice, the potato, the piece of fruit for dessert. By the time they arrive, that fiber filter is in place. Your digestion is already in a slower, more measured gear, and those carbs are broken down and released into your bloodstream as a gentle, rolling hill, not a terrifying, damaging spike. This is it. This is the simplicity. You don't have to give up your favorite foods, you just have to time them. You clothe your carbs in fiber. You buffer them. Why do we ignore this? Because no one told us. It's counterintuitive to how we've always eaten. We eat the breadbasket first at a restaurant, the worst possible thing we can do, flooding our system with naked, fast-acting carbs. Try it. Just try it for 1 week. Fiber first, vegetables first. See how you feel. See how your energy is 2 hours later. You won't have that 3 p.m. slump. You won't have those wild cravings. You're smoothing out your energy curve. And in doing so, you are starving the glycation process. You are quite literally slowing down aging at a molecular level with a simple forkful of salad. Isn't that an incredible, empowering discovery? What's your go-to meal? Think about it right now. How could you re-sequence it? Drop your ideas in the comments below. Let's share some strategies. This community is a powerful resource, and sharing your light bulb moment might be the thing that helps someone else finally click. Now, let's add another simple layer.
This one is just as easy. It's the 10-minute post-meal walk. We've all felt that post-meal lethargy, especially after a carb-heavy lunch. We want to sit or even nap. This is the worst thing we can do. Right at that moment, 60 to 90 minutes after you've eaten, your blood is full of glucose. It's circulating, looking for a home. Your insulin is trying to knock on the doors of your cells to let it in. But what if you opened the doors? Your muscles, particularly the large muscles in your legs and glutes, are massive sugar sponges. They are the biggest home for glucose in your entire body. But to get the glucose in, they need a signal. Here's the magic. The simple act of muscle contraction, just walking, triggers a special mechanism. It calls a set of transporters called GLUT4 to the surface of the muscle cells. These GLUT4s are like emergency doors for glucose. They do not require insulin. They just open up and hoover the excess sugar out of your bloodstream to be burned as immediate fuel for your walk. It's a biological hack. You are manually clearing your blood of the very sugar that would otherwise be sticking to your proteins, forming those AGEs and aging you. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to break a sweat. Just a 10-minute, gentle walk around the block. Do it right after your biggest meal of the day. It's so simple. Why do we ignore it? We feel tired, we're busy, we sit back down at our desks, we turn on the TV. We mistake the sugar coma for normal tiredness. We've normalized the symptom of the problem. But now you know. That sleepiness is a warning bell. It's your body screaming, "I'm drowning in sugar. Move!" So move, just for 10 minutes. By combining these two simple acts, eating your vegetables first and taking a 10-minute walk after, you can fundamentally change your metabolic health, reduce glycation, and reclaim your energy. This is the simple part of the equation. This is the part that is so accessible, yet so often dismissed. And we're not done. There's a third layer to this. One that's even more insidious, because it can spike your blood sugar even if you haven't eaten a single thing. This is the mindset piece. We have to talk about stress. We live in a world of chronic, low-grade, 24/7 stress. Financial worries, family drama, the 24-hour news cycle, the constant pinging of our phones. Our bodies were not designed for this. Our stress response system, the fight-or-flight response, is an ancient survival mechanism. It's run by a hormone called cortisol. To your body, a looming work deadline or a traffic jam is perceived with the same primal panic as a saber-toothed tiger. And in a primal danger situation, what does your body need? Instant energy. It needs fuel now to either fight or run. So what does cortisol do? It sends an emergency signal to your liver, which stores a form of sugar called glycogen. In response to cortisol, your liver dumps its stored sugar straight into your bloodstream. This is a survival mechanism. Your body is trying to save you by giving you the energy to escape. But you're not running. You're just sitting in traffic or at your desk fuming. And now your blood is flooded with sugar just as if you'd eaten a candy bar. And what happens to all that unused sugar? You guessed it. It circulates, it sticks, it glycates. It ages you. Chronically high cortisol from stress means chronically high blood sugar, regardless of your diet. This is why so many people do everything right. They eat clean, they exercise, but they still can't get their health under control. They are stressed out of their minds. They are living in a constant cortisol-fueled sugar bath. And what's the simple fix here? This one feels harder, but it's just as simple in its action. It's sleep. Sleep is the antidote to cortisol. It is the only time your body and brain truly repair. When you get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, your cortisol levels naturally drop and your stress system resets, and your body gets a handle on inflammation. But more importantly, good sleep makes your cells sensitive to insulin again. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks your cell doors to let glucose in. When you're stressed and sleep-deprived, it's like the keyhole, the insulin receptor, gets gummed up. Insulin tries, but it can't open the door. This is insulin resistance. The sugar can't get in, so it stays in the blood, causing more and more glycation.
One single bad night of sleep has been shown to make your cells as insulin-resistant as those of a type 2 diabetic. Think about that. So this simple fix is to fiercely protect your sleep. Make your bedroom a cold, dark sanctuary. Turn off screens an hour before bed. See sleep not as a luxury, but as a non-negotiable medical necessity, as vital as water or air. It's the simplest way to turn off the cortisol sugar tap. And the other tool? The 5-minute breath. This isn't woo-woo. This is a direct biological command. When you are stressed, you are in your sympathetic nervous system, or fight or flight. When you intentionally slow down your breathing, especially making your exhales longer than your inhales, for example, in for 4, out for 6, you are sending a physical signal to your brain that says, the danger has passed, we are safe. This manually activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest and repair state. Doing this for just 5 minutes can measurably lower the amount of cortisol in your bloodstream. It stops the liver dump. It's a simple pause. We ignore it because who has time to just breathe? We'd rather push through the stress, which, as you now know, is just pushing that glycation accelerator to the floor. So, let's put it all together. The aging we see in the mirror, the wrinkles, the stiffness, the energy loss, the brain fog, is not just time, it is the accumulated physical damage of glycation, a process fueled by excess blood sugar. We ignore it because it's silent, it's slow, and we've been taught to look in all the wrong places. We've been taught to fight it with creams from the outside instead of from the inside. We've been taught to fear fat instead of the carbs that break down into sugar. We've been taught to accept tiredness and stress as normal, but it's not normal, and the solutions are shockingly simple. 1. Sequence your food. Veggies first to create a fiber filter. 2. Move after meals. A 10-minute walk to manually clear the sugar. 3. Manage your stress, prioritize sleep, and take 5-minute breath breaks to turn off the cortisol tap. These 3 things, they cost nothing. They are available to every single one of us right now. This is the discovery. This is the secret. The disconnect you feel between your inner, vibrant self and that tired reflection in the mirror is the key. That inner voice is right. Your body should feel as vibrant as your spirit. The reflection is just showing the results of a process. And now you know how to change that process. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. You can start with your very next meal to stop caramelizing your body and start repairing it. This journey of discovery, of understanding the why behind our health, is the most important one we can take. And if you found this valuable, if this has sparked something in you, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a community here dedicated to just this, digging deeper, questioning the common knowledge, and finding the simple truths that give us our power back. It's not just about sugar, it's about everything. So many things we're told are safe or normal have hidden impacts. It's all connected. The stiffness in our arteries, the pressure in our blood pressure, it's all part of the same system. For instance, so many of us are on medication for high blood pressure, but we're never told the full story about how they work or the subtle effects they might be having on other parts of our body. If you're ready to keep pulling on that thread, if you're ready to continue this journey of discovery, I have another video queued up for you right here on the screen. It's called Amlodopane's Hidden Side Effects, and I promise it's a critical piece of this larger health puzzle. Go ahead and click it. I'll see you over there. Thank you for your time today. Keep seeking, keep questioning.